Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Cody the Coin Raptor and I'm here to talk to you about some chart TA. So let's get right to it. All right, Bitcoin. I've got the Bitcoin chart right here. We can see that, if I zoom out here a little bit, we can see that the Bitcoin has been trading in a range. It's mostly been going sideways here. In fact, you can actually extend these trend lines like all the way back into June in some areas, and it would make sense. Now, one thing I want to kind of draw to your attention is that this right here, this big old, I don't know what you'd call it, this fake out, this run up here, if you just got rid of this, and this is kind of noise at this point, but if you just got rid of this, you can see that Bitcoin has been trading pretty nicely within this sideways channel, and that's about from 18,300 to about 20,400. So you can think probably around this $2,000 range. And it's been like that for some time. It's been like that for at least over a month now. And one thing that's obvious to me after looking at Bitcoin charts for this whole time, that Bitcoin never really stays within a sideways pattern for very long. So right now it's doing a kind of consolidation. Now it's probably going to wind up breaking down from here. I still think that's going to be the case, but there's always a possibility that it does break up as well. However, I think it's more likely that we're going to wind up breaking down, or at least retesting this low here at 18,300. We zoom in a little bit. We'll take a look at the hourly. And on the hourly, so there's been 3 different times here with this trend line let me move this down just a little bit. But there's been 3 different times with this trend line that Bitcoin has kind of failed to break out, right? It was right here in this region, and right here, and then right here. So it's 3 different times it failed to break out of this resistance. This resistance level has been strong. Like I said, it's been here for about a little over a month or so. So right now with Bitcoin, it's attempting to break out, and I don't think it's going to break out, but if it does, that would be a very bullish sign. That's what you want to look for if you're a bull. However, I realize at this point that there's just not a lot of demand for Bitcoin. If we take a look at the RSI level, something I pointed out in a previous video at about that $52 region or so, it's actually right at that level right now. We'll go up, take a look at 52, and we can draw this all the way back, and we can see here that it's basically just touching that line. Okay, so it's not really, it hasn't really gone higher. It broke out slightly right here, and then it's come back down again. And I expect it's going to come back down under this line as well, just like it's done the past couple of times that we've seen it. So right now for Bitcoin, still bearish in the short term, but still bullish in the long term. I'm waiting for it to come back even further in order to add to my DCA position, and I'm just being patient. All right, so we'll take a look at Ethereum as well. Ethereum is still stuck in this descending triangle pattern. That hasn't changed or anything. We're going to go ahead and zoom in and take a look at the hourly. The setup is actually quite a lot like Bitcoin's. Not a big surprise there, but it is a little bit different in that the big rise up that happened on the 27th and the 26th. This right here is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit less jagged than the other one was, but the point still remains that Ethereum has had a hard time breaking out here at about 1383. And again, this is a trend line that goes all the way back for about a month or so, a month plus. And with Ethereum, however, it could actually break this because Ethereum is still holding up better than Bitcoin has. But I still think that the trend overall in the short term is still bearish for Ethereum. And again, I'm looking to add to my Ethereum position just much lower, especially as you come closer to the support level. Definitely interested in that. Maybe somewhere south of about 1300. That's what I'm looking at right now for this. All right, and then also I want to go ahead and talk about the Bitcoin funds rate. So the Bitcoin funds rate now, as I've said before in the past, when you see these green values at the bottom here, what you're looking at is the longs paying a premium to the shorts. So right now, Bitcoin longs are still very dominant in the system. I have not seen like a mass capitulation event for the longs, but if the price keeps moving down, we could wind up seeing a capitulation event for the longs, and that could further drive the price down from there. Now, it would look something like this right here, where you have like a run up and then after that a run down, and then followed by negative rates here, which means that shorts are dominant. So it would look something like this, and that's basically what I'm looking for in order to see when Bitcoin's gotten out of this bull trap. But I think this bull trap is still very valid. All right. Next, I want to go ahead and talk about something that I haven't talked about before, and that is a Binance coin. Okay, BNB. I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot at doing chart TA for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Binance occasionally. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by saying here that Binance is in a completely different kind of position than Bitcoin or Ethereum, and Binance has been trading completely differently. In fact, if we go and we look out back to the daily, we can see that Binance has actually been in a kind of an uptrend ever since those June lows. It has been uptrending. However, it's kind of hugging the bottom part, the bottom end of this uptrend, this up channel. So I've seen many different times here where it's come down, it's touched it, it bounced off, it's come down, touched it, and bounced off. And that's telling me that this trend line right here, this lower trend line, is an extremely strong support. That being said, it definitely could wind up following Bitcoin or Ethereum. However, again, it's a completely different pattern here. And for now, it seems to still be in this uptrend. Now, if we actually take a look at the hourly for this, we can see that they had a huge spike. Looks like a whale move here. About 10,000 or so Binance coins were traded here. And in fact, the RSI is under 28. So right now it is strongly oversold, and I expect that Binance is, at least in the short term, going to get a bit of a bounce from this, because that is a big move in such a short amount of time. So I expect, again, this is going to go higher, and it's probably going to stay within this channel here for the foreseeable future. If it actually breaks under this channel, then we can have a completely different discussion for this. But from what I'm seeing right now, this channel uptrend seems to be intact and alive. We take a look at the dollar index. Dollar index is still on its huge parabolic move here. Nothing's really changed with this so far. It's just the only thing that we've seen the past couple days is some more green candles pop up here. And again, I think that it's going to come up here. It's going to touch 120, 121 in that region, and then it's going to get rejected. But until that happens, what we're going to see is this very steady march up, and as a result, it's going to be putting serious pressure on Bitcoin. So speaking of which, we're also going to take a look at the dominance, Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance right now actually pushed above this top resistance level. It's 41.5% or so, and then it's pulled back a little bit. I expect it's probably going to keep moving up from here and use this resistance point as support. We take a look at Ethereum dominance, and we can see that it's, again, making the kind of opposite move, which is what you would expect, because when Bitcoin dominance goes up, Ethereum dominance tends to go down, and vice versa. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is some important dates for October. So I put this out earlier this morning, but very important dates to put out. The 13th of October, that's going to be the CPI print, right? That's Consumer Price Index. This is going to be incredibly important here, because this CPI print is largely going to dictate whether or not the Fed is going to be as aggressive in its next rate hike. All right. And then the 19th, we have Tesla's earnings, which always tend to move the crypto market, especially when they decide to sell most of their Bitcoin. And then also on the 27th, the Credit Suisse is going to be releasing this strategic plan. And this is important because it just like in my previous video, and I talked about ARK Invest's monthly report, their Bitcoin monthly report. Definitely recommend you check that out if you haven't. But the reason why this is important is because the Deutsche Bank and Credit Suisse right now are going through some serious problems. They don't necessarily mean it's going to go bankrupt, but people are going to be looking at the strategic plan, and this has a way of negatively or positively impacting the stock market, and as a result, the crypto market as well. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. And then I also listed a bunch of Celsius court hearings as well. This is also pretty important for those of you that have any involvement with Celsius, the 6th, the 7th, and the 20th. So that's all I've got for you guys today. If you like this channel, please let me know. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We'll greatly appreciate that. This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I hope to see you on the next video.